Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem Mouse video. Today let's check out the new Zinnia first, Zinnia Thievul. These are some like, I mean, on one hand it seems odd the pairing, but like it makes sense for the event, right? In terms of it's like this like detective event, right? So anyways, okay, let's go over the kit, see if there's anything interesting or good in here. So all right, starting off, it is a tech, right? Dark type tech, and stats at level 140, 635 HP, 424 attack, 163 defense, 336 special attack, 187 special defense, 287 speed. So speed's not the best, right? You have good attack at least, and that's about it. I mean, everything else is kind of whatever. So it has Crunch as a move, X Attack All, so it's another one of those techs that like buff as well. B Night Slash, I do have a B move here. B Night Slash, Physical Dark. When there's at least one Pokemon with a lower Dark type rebuff on the opponent's field of play, is when you can activate it, and then it deactivates when there are no longer any Pokemon with a lowered Dark type rebuff on the opponent's field of play. So is she gonna be like a dark rebuff sort of unit, probably? Anyways, never misses, returns the target's raise stats to normal, then raises user's same stats by the same amount, except in except in certain circumstances. So successful hits with this attack become crits. Applies the no stat increases effect on the opponent's field. Oh, that's new. No stat increases. Ooh, that would be very, very nice for multiple legendary Gauntlet stages. They're doing a lot of these recently. Are they planning to add Cresselia to a Gauntlet you know, set sometime in the near future? Got a feeling, maybe, right? So yeah, basically you could completely prevent. I mean, well, not complete. It's only gonna, you know, be there for you know, a while, right? But you know, in that duration, they can't buff their stats at all, which is that's really nice. Let's see if trainer move, Catch Me If You Can, status, blah blah blah. Applies the stat reduction defense effect to the allies field of play, raises user's evasion by 1 stat rank, and then raises the user's crit by 2. Okay. +2 crit, +1 evasion. Okay, so where does the dark rebuff come in? But you do get stat reduction. So okay, so basically she could max out her own crit, right? She could also max out her own physical attack with well, the entire team's physical attack with X Attack All if you wanted to. I'm assuming she has MPR on the on the grid. All right, let's see. In terms of the sync, Steal the Win. The more the user's stats are raised, the greater the power of this. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, now let's check out the passive. So first passive is Team Rebuff Command Dark. Lowers the Dark type rebuff of all opposing sync pairs by 1. The first time the user's trainer uses a move each battle. Apologies, the format's a bit odd, but well, okay, it's only the first time. So we're only getting like -1. Dark rebuff here, but with this, right, we do actually have -3 type rebuff now with her plus Champion Serena, and yeah, that's what, 60%, right, which is actually a higher damage buff than Dark Zone. That would actually be higher than Dark Zone, although you need 2 units to get that maxed out versus 1 Dark Zone unit. But yeah, but also lasts for like the entire battle. Okay, what else we got? Passive number 2, unbuffed foe freebie 9, applies the free move next effect to the user when its attack move is successful while none of the target's stats are raised. Free move next every time when the opponent has no raised stats. That's really nice, right? Because after you apply the thing where the opponent can't raise its stats, right? Also, like, first of all, you steal the stats. Whatever stats that they already have raised, you steal them, and then after that, they you know, they can't buff their stats, so they're always going to be in that state of having no stats. So in that time period, right, you will have basically free move next every single turn for her, right? Obviously they can still buff their stats after the time period is over, right? So it's not like the most, you know, broken, actually free gauge all the way, but it's still not bad because it's not just for that time period, because, you know, sometimes after the time period passes, as long as the opponent doesn't use any other moves to further buff their stats, which, you know, in some certain stages they rarely buff their stats at all, so that's just still free move next every time, right? And then you have vigilance, which is just kind of whatever. Okay, well, so far so good. And it just seems like yeah, it seems like another one of those Gauntlet units. And again, the amount of these kind of units that have been coming out lately really makes me wonder, are they gonna do it, man? Are they gonna do Cresselia in the Gauntlet? Look, people worry about Cresselia in the Gauntlet, but I feel like I don't think it's gonna be that bad, because they've done Moltres twice already. This is, I think, the second time. Was it second or third time? I think second time, right? That they've done Moltres in the Gauntlet, and Moltres is more restrictive than Cresselia. In terms of teams, Moltres is worse, right? Because Moltres, it's rain, hail, sand, right? Without those, you're gonna have a very, very, very tough time, right? Without those, you're basically doing nothing, unless you want to go the route of, I'm just do RNG and just flinch trap Moltres the entire time, which, good luck with that, you know, literally, right? And yeah, so it seems like they might be trying to ease in Cresselia to the Gauntlet rotation, which again is not as bad as Moltres, I don't think. And she seems like a pretty good unit versus opponents like that. And it's not just Cresselia, right? Not just Cresselia, obviously. A lot of other, you know, opponents are very, very annoying with these stat buffs, right? You know, something like Latios as well. But yeah, anyways, let's see what Sync Grid has in store. I'll just pick out like the relevant ones. We'll skip over like the stat buffs and the move BP power ups, unless there's like really big ones, right? Okay, so in terms of like relevant-ish nodes that's really worth looking into, we have at 1 out of 5, there's like Headstrong and Escape Artist, which is, I mean, it's something, I guess, right? 2 out of 5, you have Crunch on a roll 2, which is very nice. X Tackle NPR 2, the training move is also NPR 2. Super Desperate, that's like super effective up when it's in a pinch. Super Sinker, you know, same thing, but you know, after your sync. Natural Remedy, and then a randomizer raise 9 on your trainer move, which just raises random stat, which is kind of whatever, honestly, on you when you use a trainer move. And then after that, you have at 3 out of 5, you have Insult to Injury, Defense Crush 9 on Crunch. So you have the ability to get -2 physical defense on the opponent every time you use Crunch, which is pretty nice. Better Prepared 30% multiplier for no stat buffs on opponent. Which again, I'd say for the, you know, for a solid amount of the battle, you probably would have that. You also have Unbuffed Foe Staggering Hit 6, which is a very long passive name, but basically 70% chance to flinch when there's no stat buffs on the opponent. 70% chance to flinch is a lot. That's a lot, man. That is a lot. Wow. Buff Block Extension 3. Which extends the buff blocking, so even better, right? And then you have a Rising Tide, because you only really have 1 MP of that, right? So if you time it right, like you use it right before opponent's about to buff their stats, and then, you know, if you could time it right at exactly when the opponent's about to use their like last stat buff in like a long time, you could profit quite a bit off of these. What else? Rising Tide, that's the big, you know, nuke for getting random stats. Not random stats, but like any stats raised on you. Alright. Catalytic Acceleration, which is move acceleration after every sync, I'm pretty sure, right? So it's not even, you know, like, oh, after the first sync, because that's the catalyst, right? This one's probably after every sync, which is very nice. Unbuffed foe sync up 9, which is extra 90% on your sync nuke multiplier on an unbuffed opponent, no stat buffs, and then the standard 25 sync BP, and she has like 2 of them, right? Which is pretty just regular. Well, she looks like a very interesting unit. We'll have to see how well her damage is, but like outside of that, everything else looks really nice, man. Again, the defense buffs, you could potentially get up to -2 defense or physical defense debuffs. Did I say buffs? I meant debuffs. -2 physical defense debuffs after like every crunch, which is really nice. And then the amount of like free move next that you could get, as long as the opponent does not have any stat buffs, right? And again, you could completely just take away your opponent's stat buffs like that, which is very cool. And yeah, she seems like she has a lot in terms of her nuke, right? Obviously her innate plus the tech EX plus the what's it called? There's Rising Tide, right? Rising Tide on top of another 90% sync nuke multiplier. That's going to be a massive amount of damage on her nuke, right? Especially for attack. So she's going to nuke. I think she's what, 414 physical attack too, right? At 140, 424. Wow. No. She's definitely going to nuke incredibly hard. Plus she has dark rebuff. She has so much stuff, man. She has so much stuff. Dark rebuff, the debuffs, the team physical attack buffs. Wow, she looks really good. She looks incredibly nice. Right, again, especially for those pesky gauntlet stages that, you know, rely on their stat buffs to keep them from getting hit most of the time. That's the main big one. Obviously there's other ones, but you know, the annoying ones are the ones that keep them from getting hit, or you know, keep them from taking any damage. But yeah, that's really nice so far. A lot of great things that I see in this kit. She looks good, man. Again, you know, no damage calcs yet, but like even if her damage numbers are like mediocre or whatever, which I mean it is possible, because I mean her main DPS move is just like crunch, which is it's a low BP move. It's a low BP 3 gauge move. Alright, it's like so yeah, and she doesn't seem, I don't believe she has too many multipliers, right? It's just really better prepare 3, right? I think, is that the only one? I think that, yeah. That's the that's, oh, insult to injury. Okay, that, you know what? That might not be like terrible, but I wouldn't expect it to be like anything crazy, right? Won't expect the damage to be anything crazy, but you know, on top of that, you still have, again, dark rebuff, the physical defense, right, debuffs and all that stuff. So it's gonna be good, man. She seemed really nice on first glance. A lot of things to like about this unit. So anyways, well, that's for this one, I guess. Hope y'all jumping, guys. Think in the comments down below, links to the videos for our channel, some more Master content. We'll be going over all these units you know, as the night goes on, so make sure y'all are tuned in for that. Have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one then.